Okay, hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Law Intense YouTube channel. My name is Govind Singh, and we are back with another Hindu and Indian Express analysis. Today is 21st of August. How many of you are here with me today? Quickly give me a response in the chat box, and then we shall start. People who are here, quickly give me a response in the chat box. Okay, we have shared the link in the group. Mishika is here. Good afternoon, Mishika. Good afternoon, Raj Nandini. Where are other people? Where's everyone? Good afternoon, Achyut. Good afternoon, Divyansh. बाकी लोग कहाँ हैं? Good afternoon, Pavitra. Good afternoon, Gauravi. Dishita. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Pradnesh. Just give me a second as I put my charger. Yeah. Okay. Charger is plugged in. Yeah. हाँ जी सब लोग आ गए. Sarvesh is here, Jasmeet is here, Pradnesh is here. Okay, all right. Are you guys ready for today's class, today's Hindu analysis? I'll wait for 30 more seconds for more people to join in. Gorika is here, K-pop is here, Tanvi is here. Welcome to the class, everyone. We'll start in just a minute. Let more people join in. Till then, आप लोग बताओ तैयारी कैसी चल रही है? How is it going for all of you? How is preparation going? There are almost 100 days left for CLAT. On that note, I have an important announcement to make. So we are starting a very exciting series for you, which is 100 days, 100 videos. So what we are going to do is we are going to bring you one video, one tip or one strategy or one advice every single day on YouTube channel as a YouTube short. So these shorts would be covering your subject wise, let's say tips and tricks, your strategy related tips, your motivation related videos, your topper strategy related videos. So make sure all of you have subscribed the channel. Make sure all of you have turned on your notification icon because this series is going to start in a couple of days and a lot of good stuff coming up. Prep is going well. Can we do Indian Express today? We can look at it. We'll just do our designated topics for the day and then we can have a look at the Indian Express if time permits. Will we discuss the Supreme Court judgment of yesterday? Which particular judgment are you talking about? Tell me the name. This week is a little slow. आज के मॉक में पता चलेगा. चलो अच्छी बात है. देखते हैं मॉक कैसा जाता है. But there's a lot of time left in this week. You can pick it up. It's still left. Can we discuss lateral entry? चलो ठीक है, lateral entry भी discuss कर लेंगे. Reservation judgment. Okay. देखो अभी जो चीज़ें अभी भी न्यूज़ में हैं उनको थोड़ा सा सेटल डाउन होने दो. देन विल टॉक अबाउट देम. द कोलकाता केस इन स्पेसिफिक. ठीक है, विल डेफिनेटली डिस्कस ऑल ऑफ दिस बट लेट थिंग्स सेटल डाउन. लेट द फाइनल verdict come. Let everything get clear. Okay, on that note, we have enough people to start. It's 3:04. It's 21st of August, and it's a bright Wednesday afternoon. At least bright on where I am. So, chalo, let's start. Let's start today's class. If you guys are ready for today's class, quickly give me a ready in the chat box, and then we shall start. Ready in the chat box if you are ready to start. Can we have a dedicated session for Olympics and NTA issue? We have had a dedicated session on Olympics. It is there on the YouTube channel. Go check it out. You will find it there. Satviki is here. Okay, everyone is ready. Very bright at your end as well. Lovely. Let's make the day brighter with some knowledge. Okay, let's start. So, these are the topics for discussion for today. We'll be discussing India Malaysia strategic partnership. It's quite an important news from a geopolitical aspect. We'll also discuss the involvement of BRICS and how Malaysia is looking to enter BRICS. We'll discuss a little bit about BRICS as well. Then there are two articles on mass employment in today's Hindu newspaper. So we'll discuss about this topic a little bit. We'll take an overview how we can look at the problem of employment, not the problem of employment, the problem of unemployment, and how we can resolve it. What are the possible solutions? Firstly, what are the challenges, and then what are the possible solutions? Then we look at the West Asia crisis, what's happening in the Middle East, what are its implications on countries like Russia, China, US, and of course India. Then we look at India Japan 2 plus 2 dialogue. So recently, this dialogue was held between the. Okay, we'll discuss it when we discuss it. I'll not spoil the suspense. Then we have ethanol blending. This was also an article in today's Hindu newspaper. So it's a very geopolitics heavy session today, but very interesting. All topics are pretty interesting. Three topics on geopolitics, one on employment, and one on ethanol blending. Okay, and then of course we have a vocab express, three new words for the day. All right, let's start on that note. So the first topic of the day is India Malaysia. इसकी photo आ गई है रही. India Malaysia strategic partnership. Okay, so India के PM हमारे मोदी जी and Malaysia के PM, उनके नाम आप लोग मुझे बताओ चैट बॉक्स में, जिन्होंने अभी मीटिंग करी है. एंड ये मीटिंग में इन्होंने स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की बात करी है. तो स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप तो हमारी पहले भी थी मलेशिया से. I'll give you some context. Till then, you guys tell me the name of the Prime Minister of Malaysia in the chat box. तो स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप हमने स्ट्राइक करी थी मलेशिया के साथ किस साल में? इन द ईयर 2010. Then this strategic partnership became an enhanced strategic partnership in the year 2015 when we signed a lot of MOUs and agreements on different aspects with Malaysia. And now in 2024, this partnership has become a comprehensive strategic partnership in 2024 after this particular meeting. So, what is a strategic partnership? A strategic partnership is simply what it implies. You partner up with a country and you work together. You work strategically together on issues like trade, on topics like defense, on topics like intelligence, on topics like technology, on topics like environment, everything. It encompasses everything on where you can strategically partner up with a country. Now, how is a partnership different from a strategic partnership? It takes things one step forward. So, although we are having good diplomatic relations with almost all of the countries in the world, but all of the countries are not our strategic partners. Strategic partners are a few selected countries with whom we are more engaged, more involved deeply in multiple fronts. Okay, so this is what your strategic partnership, and when it gets enhanced, more agreements are signed, more MOUs are signed, it becomes an enhanced strategic partnership. And now when it covers all the domains, every aspect of partnership, it becomes a comprehensive strategic partnership, which we are looking forward to with Malaysia. Let me look at who has given me the name of the PM. सबसे पहले मुझे बताया है गौरवी ने. Yes, the answer is correct. Anwar Ibrahim is the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Anwar Ibrahim. And Malaysia is in which location? It's a Southeast Asian country, which makes it very important from a geopolitical perspective because it lies close to the South China Sea. साउथ चाइना सी में किस कंट्री का ग्रोइंग इन्फ्लुएंस हम काउंटर करना चाहते हैं? विच कंट्री आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ? Which country is trying to dominate everything in the South China Sea? Trade routes, activities, geopolitics. Which is that country? The country of dragons. Loving the background, thank you. बैकग्राउंड की तारीफ करना, मेरी मत करना कभी है। चलो, ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत। तो चाइना, चाइना का ग्रोइंग इन्फ्लुएंस हम काउंटर करना चाह रहे हैं। मलेशिया जो है, ऑल्दो इट हैज अ ट्रेडिंग रिलेशनशिप विद चाइना, इट्स नॉट वेरी, आई वुड से, pro China. It's not a friend of China. It just has a working relationship with China, but it's not a friend of China. So India is trying to include Malaysia in the BRICS group. What is the BRICS group? It is association. It is a strategic, again, alliance of a few countries to, you could say, counter the G7 group, which was previously the G8 group. तो ब्रिक्स में कितनी कंट्रीज हैं, मुझे कौन बता सकता है? हु कैन टेल मी हाउ मेनी कंट्रीज इन ब्रिक्स एज ऑफ नाउ, एज ऑफ डेट, हाउ मेनी कंट्रीज इन ब्रिक्स? आपकी तारीफ तो हम हमेशा करते हैं, जितनी करो उतनी कम है। ब्राजील, रशिया, इंडिया, चाइना, साउथ अफ्रीका, दैट इज द फुल फॉर्म, करेक्ट, बट देर आर 10 कंट्रीज, नॉट 11, एज ऑफ नाउ देर आर 10। अभी मलेशिया फॉर्मली ज्वाइन नहीं हुआ है। हाँ, ब्रिक्स प्लस कह सकते हो। The conventional name is BRICS, but now it's also called BRICS Plus because it has 10 countries, 5 the original one. अच्छा, original में भी इनमें से एक country ऐसी which was not originally a part and joined later. Which country? Which country joined as the fifth member? There were 4 members initially. Which country joined as the fifth member of BRICS? South Africa. पहले it was called BRIC, ठीक है। उसके बाद साउथ अफ्रीका joined, I guess, in 2010, if I'm not wrong, and then it became BRICS. And in 2024, like applicable from January 2024, 5 more countries have also become a part of the BRICS initiative. ब्रिक्स की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं तो ब्रिक्स की लास्ट मीटिंग, लास्ट समिट कहाँ हुई थी? वेयर वाज द लास्ट ब्रिक्स एनुअल मीटिंग हेल्ड? कैन यू गाइस टेल मी द नेम ऑफ द प्लेस? Where was the previous BRICS summit held? No, wrong answer. Divyansh has given me the right answer. It was Johannesburg, South Africa in 2023. जो आप लोगों ने आंसर दिया, मैक्सिमम लोगों ने, दैट इज रशिया। अक्टूबर में होनी है रशिया में इस साल 2024 अक्टूबर, इट्स गोइंग टू हैपन इन रशिया। 2023 it was Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay. Does anyone know the other new 5 members of BRICS? Can you guys tell me the new 5 members of BRICS in the chat box? तब तक मैं आपको बताता हूँ कॉन्टेक्स्ट। तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट ये है कि इंडिया इज हैविंग अ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप विद मलेशिया, एंड इंडिया इज ट्राइंग टू get Malaysia join the BRICS because China has a strong growing influence in BRICS as well. China is trying to exert its power in the BRICS group, firstly to counter the G7 group and the West powers, US and Europe, and also now keeping the geopolitics of Russia in mind. Russia has also allied with China to a great extent because it has no choice as of now. So China and Russia का काफी ज्यादा dominance बढ़ रहा है ब्रिक्स में, and to neutralize that dominance, India is trying to get its allies into the BRICS group. Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, UAE, Egypt. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Argentina was also invited, but it refused to join. Why did it refuse to join? Can anyone tell me? अर्जेंटीना ने इनका रिश्ता क्यों ठुकरा दिया? Change in government is one reason, but what is the macro reason? What is the broader reason? Yes, of course, change in government, had change, new government. But why did the new government choose not to join BRICS? That is the question. Yes, Pradnesh has given me the right answer. It aligns with US. Just saying has also given the right answer. It is leaning more towards the US, and of course, BRICS is a group which was made to counter US. So Argentina ने US वाली side पकड़ी. अब India के लिए this also becomes a challenge that as BRICS is expanding, as BRICS is growing, India would probably have to pick one side moving forward in future. Does it want to lean more towards the US, its initiatives like Quad, I2U2, and all of that, or does it want to establish its stronghold in the BRICS group? So we'll look what happens. Anyway, this was all you needed to know with regards to the India-Malaysia partnership. There's not much. There are a couple of other things which you all need to know. Why is Malaysia important to India? Malaysia is also important because of its strategic location in the South China Sea. There is a particular strait which is near Malaysia, in the domain of Malaysia, which is a major trade route in that particular South China Sea region. And can you guys tell me the name of that strait? STRAIT, water body wala strait, straight line wala strait nahi. Which strait I'm talking of? Rajnandini, the other U is UAE. India, Israel, US, and UAE. Yes, the Strait of Malacca or the Malacca Strait. No, I'm not talking about the Park Strait. I'm talking about Malacca Strait. So Malacca Strait is in that region, and it is a very important trade route. Malaysia is also a country which is important from India for India from many perspectives. Be it your tech partnerships, be it your trading partnerships, be it your geopolitical alignment in the South China Sea. So इस वजह से it is important that we have good ties with Malaysia. ओके, क्योंकि एक इम्पोर्टेंट ट्रेड रूट भी है, पोर्ट्स भी हैं वहाँ पे बहुत सारे, एंड वी नीड टू हैव गुड टर्म्स विद पीपल, especially looking at what's going on with our neighbors. Everything is hostile as of now, everything is unstable. So the more stable allies we have, the better it is on a diplomatic front. And with that being said, this is all you need to know. If you look at the article is saying that we have upgraded to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Anwar Ibrahim visit to India. Two leaders upgraded the partnership 2010, 2015. We discussed this. Joined the groups, BRICS grouping. Acha, Malaysia is also a part of ASEAN, which is your association for Southeast Asian nations, and also in the Indo-Pacific region. So the region which connects the Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Malaysia lies somewhere in the middle. So again, location wise, it's important. Freedom of navigation, overflight, international laws, advocate peaceful resolution, world affairs, priorities, dark history of imperial expansion, blah, blah, blah. So we have done this. Okay, is everything clear? Let's talk about the second topic, which is regarding mass employment. So they're talking of coming up with initiatives which can generate mass employment, a ground plan for sustainable mass employment. What can be possible solutions for sustainable mass employment? Before we discuss that, you need to understand that why is there a lot of unemployment in the country? I think we have discussed this a few times, but because there are two articles in today's newspaper, let's go through it again. So, as per you guys, what are the possible reasons of the large scale unemployment in India? Let's see. What do you guys think? इंडिया में इतनी बेरोजगारी क्यों है? Why? Population, yes, population is a very big reason. Correct. What else? Furtherance of machinery. What do you mean by furtherance of machinery? Education. कह सकते हैं. Education is also a big factor. Lack of education, to put it better. Illiteracy, education, same thing. Growing population, lack of proper educational and marketable skills. Yes. Skill gap, very major reason for unemployment. What else? Lack of technical skills, opportunities. Less opportunities, yes. More job seekers rather than job creators. Correct? Scarcity of jobs as per population concentration in some sectors, lack of skilled manpower, less employment opportunities, inadequate opportunities, replacement of humans by machines. इतना खतरा तो नहीं है अभी in India कि machinery is replacing humans as of now in our country. I mean, that's not a major threat. It could be a minor one. Technological advancements, manufacturing and informal sector has taken a hit in recent times. Yes, you could say that. I would still say that we have still not utilized our potential when it comes to the manufacturing sector. So, huge, let's say, reliance on the agricultural sector. We all know that a lot of our population, majority of our population is rural and depends on agriculture as their means of livelihood. When we talk of this, we also talk of disguised unemployment, right? What is disguised unemployment or disguised employment? You could put it both ways. That 10 people are working on a farm, although it just requires 2 people to work on the farm. So these 8 people are, although they seem to be employed, but they are disguisedly unemployed. So this is disguised unemployment. And to resolve all of these issues, we need to work at education. We also need to work on your healthcare and nutrition because healthy population means more productivity. So healthcare and nutrition, we need to work. We need to work on creating more job creators, furthering entrepreneurship, furthering startups, giving impetus to MSMEs. What are MSMEs? Micro, small, medium enterprises, right? And this is the primary cause of concern, skill gap. So we have a lot of youth, we have a young population, we all know that. But this young population cannot be deployed in the manufacturing sector or they are not employable enough. Why? Because they are unskilled. So we need to upskill them through training programs, through internship programs. इस बार बजट में भी बात हुई है काफ़ी internship programs की, आप लोगों ने फॉलो किया होगा, हमने डिस्कस भी किया था. तो इंटर्नशिप्स देंगी कंपनीज, उनको स्किल्स सिखाएंगी एंड वंस दे आर वेल equipped with skills, the article suggests that we should focus more towards the manufacturing sector. ठीक है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर से क्या होगा? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर से एक तो हमारा we'll have a possibility of generating exports. We'll also be able to employ more people. Mass employment we can create. We'll also be able to generate more income back into the economy because more employment, that means more income is generated. When more income is generated, let me clear this out. So more employment means more income is generated. More people are getting jobs. More people are getting jobs, more income is there. That means more disposable income in the market. That means more demand. More demand means more jobs. So this is a healthy cycle which we need to get towards. And how would we breach this cycle? By working towards the manufacturing sector, by upskilling people, by working on their education, working on their healthcare, working on providing them every facility which is required for them to become employable in a sustainable manner, right? उसके अलावा of course you have other initiatives like your Mudra loan is there for startups and all, your Startup India scheme is there, you could also talk about giving loans and grants to private sector so that they can employ more people and create more entrepreneurship opportunities. So वो सारी बातें हैं. That is all the article is talking about. Let me take you through the article as well. दो articles हैं इस पे आज के न्यूज़पेपर में. So we'll quickly have a glance over the article of what it's talking about. Basically, I have told you the gist. ठीक है, वही सारी बातें हैं. The big budget announcement of 5 major employment-related schemes sounds impressive. Schemes are to have an ambitious 2 lakh crore outlay spread over 5 years to facilitate jobs and skilling. We have discussed this when we discussed the budget. Economic survey has made a strong case for employment, goading the private sector to create jobs. Goading as in urging. The reasons being lower taxes since 2019, higher profits post the pandemic. Package for employment, roadmap for sustainable employment, unskilled workers available, unlimited periodic labor force, then you have wage earning, then you have evidence to the points of continuum of education and skills. Monthly per capita consumption is highest in states such as Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Himachal, Goa, and Sikkim. These states have better HDI indicators, human development indicators. Odisha, in spite of pushing short duration skilling, has a low per capita consumption. Mass employment with dignity requires productivity increase. Okay, what else? Skilling needs, we have discussed this. We need to upskill. Second, coverage initiatives for education, health, skills, nutrition, livelihood. I was telling you about health, nutrition. Employment with women's collectives. This is one very important point. We have discussed this a couple of times that we need to increase the participation of women in the labor force. As of now, it's very underutilized. Not many women participate in the labor force, especially in the North Indian states. In South Indian states and Northeastern states, you still see a lot of women participating in commercial activities, in businesses, in jobs. But in Northern India, there's still a lot of room for improvement. This will ensure community accountability with untied funds, functions, functionaries, and outcomes. India's failures in public goods can improve through such an approach. Okay. Education and employability. So, this is again linking it to how education can make you a better candidate for employment. Then 5 6 points they have talked about: investment in industrial training institutes, creating community of cadres of caregivers to run creches universally so that women can work without fear. Then you have standardized nursing and allied healthcare professional courses. Then you have need-based vocational courses. Vocational are again your skill-based courses. Then you have capital loans and enterprises, streamline working capital loans for women led enterprises. So they have given multiple solutions. Innovation hubs, start a universal skill accreditation program for skill providing institutions. This happens in foreign universities. They provide you diplomas, they provide you skill building certificates. So they're saying you can employ a similar tactic in India as well. Skill providers can be accredited after a rigorous assessment process. 11th is they're saying using funds under the Manrega scheme. Then you are saying apprenticeship, which is again your internships or training on scale, can facilitate the absorption of youth in a workspace. So they have given you 10, 12 solutions on how you can lay a ground plan for sustainable mass employment. Let's quickly take an overview of the second article. What is the second article saying? Creating employment in the long run. Promises of employment. This is more towards the government aspect of how the government has failed in creating appropriate number of jobs, how there is a lack of jobs. Instead of nudges, the government should have relied on comprehensive economic package for long-term investment plan in essential public services. What are your public services? Again, infrastructure, healthcare, livelihood, nutrition, education, all of that. Focus on Make in India and all of that. So yeah, this is similar to what is being mentioned here. You can read both of these articles, very interesting articles. And yeah, that's all about mass employment and how you can generate mass employment. Now, let's talk about the next article, which is quite interesting. Again, from a geopolitical perspective, is the West Asia crisis. The West Asia crisis spells tough choices for China and Russia. Now, when you talk of tough choices for China and Russia, why you have tough choices for China and Russia? Let's look at that. तो देखो वेस्ट एशिया की जब हम बात करते हैं तो वी आर एसेंशियली एड्रेसिंग द मिडिल ईस्ट. ओके, दैट इज द वेस्ट एशिया प्राइमरली. मिडिल ईस्ट में काफ़ी सारे चल रहे हैं कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. एक आपका चल रहा है इसराइल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, एक आपका चल रहा है ईरान कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. ठीक है, प्राइमरली दीज टू. एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव योर रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर ऑन द साइड एज वेल, and multiple other small issues with multiple countries going on. Now, when you talk of the Israel issue or the Iran issue, this article is addressing the Iran issue, the nuclearization of Iran. The thing is, China is interested in all of these chaos and issues from an economic point of view, from an economic standpoint. Whereas Russia is looking at them from a more diplomatic and geopolitical and exerting control and territorial point of view. That I need maximum allies, I need maximum diplomatic control, I need maximum political influence on these states. So Russia का वो एंगल है. एंड चाइना का एंगल है कि भाई हम मैक्सिमाइज कैसे कर ले अपना प्रॉफिट, अपनी इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ थ्रू ऑल ऑफ दिस chaos, right? How many of you have seen Game of Thrones? Give me a guess in the chat box. Any Game of Thrones fans? अच्छा स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही. ओके, पार्डन मी. लेट मी शेयर माय स्क्रीन. ऑलराइट. यस. रमेश इज सेइंग क्रैश कोर्स में आप लॉजिकल रीजनिंग पढ़ाते हो क्या? I teach logical reasoning to one batch. Now I'm not sure which crash course you are referring to. If you can tell me the name of the batch, I can tell you yes or no. But you can text me on Telegram. We can talk about this. I have read the books. अरे वाह. OG fans. हाँ, तो मैं क्यों बता रहा था गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स, भूल गया मैं इसलिए बता रहा था कि हाँ, उसमें एक कोट है. Like there's a dialogue that chaos is not a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Does anyone know who said this? People who are Game of Thrones fans. Anyway, Peter Baelish said this, Lord Baelish. Anyway, let's come back. So, the quote here holds true for China as a country. China looks at chaos as a ladder to get maximum economic growth out of the potential exploitations which it can make. Let's look at the article and see what the article is saying. And then I'll explain it to you. देखो, ये रहा आर्टिकल कह रहा है द असैसिनेशन ऑफ इस्माइल हनिया चीफ ऑफ हमास पॉलिट ब्यूरो and groups negotiator in central Tehran is capital of Iran, in July has pushed Israel and Iran to the brink of a full-scale war. The region is bracing for an Iranian response that is expected to be more violent than the exchange between the two forces enemies in April. अब हम सबको पता है, I think I'm assuming सबको पता है कि Israel and Iran at loggerheads because Iran has been supporting all your groups like Hezbollah and your Hamas, all of that, and वो Israel पे attack करे जा रहे हैं. So they are at sort of brink of a war. The war in Gaza is a regional flashpoint and has been so for many decades, but in 24 it has been subsumed into a larger big power competition between US and its Western partners on one side and China-led grouping on the other side, which loosely includes Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Why loosely? Because Russia is involved in this out of compulsion. Russia has to firstly counter US as a superpower, and dusra, it is highly dependent on China as an ally, so it has to side with China to a certain extent. Iran is again siding with these two because it has a ongoing strained relationship with US because of the nuclear thing which happened. They placed sanctions on Iran because they were saying that Iran is making a nuclear bomb. So the P5 group placed a sanction on Iran, which was later lifted. But can you tell me which countries are in the P5 group which had put a sanction on Iran in the chat box? The P5 group. Okay, Iran has played a central role in this construct, from providing military technical capacity to Moscow in the form of drones for its front line against Ukraine and cheap oil for Beijing. So, देख रहे हो, रशिया का किस तरीके से फायदा हो रहा है on a military front, on a political front, whereas China का कैसे फायदा हो रहा है? Cheap oil, which it has used to top up its strategic reserves. The influence architecture. Both Russia and China have individualistic aims that often diverge from each other, which I was telling you about. Tehran getting bogged down by a conventional conflict across the region will mean that its capacities will also need bolstering, yani ki support, a demand that may land up on the doorsteps of both Moscow and Beijing. While the two powers have a common aim of undermining and even dispelling the US hold on West Asian security, they have also individually built their own influence architectures, which operate less as a collective and more at an individual level. China has been more active diplomatically, from playing a mediator's role in the normalization of ties between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Because why? Because it wants oil, it wants economic benefit. To more recently hosting a group of Palestinian factions, including Hamas and Fatah, both of whom have been loggerheads with each other. Beijing has remained steadfast and consistent in its support for Palestinian cause, which it sees from two strategic lenses. First, that of injustice perpetrated by West colonialization, and second, a general support for Arab positions. In these, Chinese press, for example, outlet highlighted Haniyeh as a pacifist. For Russia, the scenario is very different. Moscow has been militarily embroiled in the Syrian conflict since 2015, when the Arab states' embattled leader Bashar al-Assad requested military support to ward off the threat posed by so-called Islamic State. Since then, Moscow has maintained permanent bases around Latakia province, which also provided critical access to Mediterranean, Along with Russia, Iran also stepped in to safeguard and Assad regime and strengthen the web of proxies across the country to secure its own strategic aim. ठीक है, तो बात वही हो रही है कि although they have a common interest, but they also have their individualistic interests at hand. On one hand, Russia needs weapons, whereas on other hand, China is trying to appease the Arab powers and establish peace, establish diplomacy, so that it can benefit economically out of the situation. Now they have talked about the issue of Iran's nuclearization. So simple issue tha, Iran was doing nuclear test and all of that to make itself nuclear capable, and all of these P5 plus 1 countries impose sanctions on Iran that bhai nahi kar sakte aap jo hai nuclear test and all. So US was on the forefront of these sanctions, and then these sanctions were ultimately lifted, but still the relationship between Iran and US is strained, and that's why to counter US, Iran is siding with Russia and China. रीजनल रियलिटीज अगेन फिर वही सेम चीज़ बताइए, रशिया यूक्रेन का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट क्या है, वेस्ट एशिया में रशियन इंटेलिजेंस क्या कह रही है, यूएस रिमेन्स एडमेंट इन प्रिजर्विंग इट्स स्मॉल डिप्लॉयमेंट्स ऑन ग्राउंड इन सीरिया एंड इराक. An exit now would look like ceding one of its final bastions of power projection in the region. तो यूएस को हर जगह पावर प्रोजेक्शन करना है, जहां भी केओस चल रहा है यूएस को इन्वॉल्व रहना है, यूएस को फायदा उठाना है. तो अभी अगर वो एग्जिट करेगा तो इट वुड अपीयर वीक, एंड इस वजह से दे आर नॉट एग्जिटिंग देयर पोजीशंस इन सीरिया एंड इराक. अफगानिस्तान से तो एग्जिट कर दिया उन्होंने काफी टाइम पहले, बट अभी भी स्टिल दे आर इन्वॉल्व इन दैट मिडिल ईस्ट पॉलिटिक्स chaos. For the chaos mentioned above to continue to deliver for China and Russia, it would be important for Iran not to get embroiled in the traditional war with Israel. However, it may be difficult for Tehran not to respond to Haniyeh's killing. This is not only because it would make it look weak, but also because those proxies fighting on its behalf for years. Proxies, किन proxies की बात हो रही है? वही Hezbollah and Hamas, all of that. These are proxies of Iran, including the likes of Hezbollah and Lebanon, are going to demand that Iranian leadership perform a strong response. तो रिस्पॉन्स भी देना है, प्रॉक्सीज को मेंटेन भी करना है, लेकिन रिलेशनशिप रशिया और चाइना से स्ट्रेन भी नहीं करना. सो दिस इज द क्राइसिस व्हिच इज स्पेलिंग अ टफ चॉइस फॉर चाइना एंड रशिया. Okay, yes, these are the P5 group: China, France, Russia, UK, and US. Absolutely correct. Now, let's look at the next topic of the day, which is India-Japan dialogue. Now, what is 2 plus 2? Can anyone tell me 2 plus 2 का मतलब क्या है यहाँ पे? India-Japan dialogue has recently taken place. What is the meaning of 2 plus 2? What is the significance of 2 plus 2 in this dialogue? Two representatives from both sides. Which representatives? Specifically whom? The defense minister and the external affairs minister. Okay. The defense ministers of both the countries and the external affairs ministers or foreign ministers of both the countries. So 2 plus 2. 2 from India, 2 from Japan. Now, this is also important from a Indo-Pacific geopolitical front because Japan is also a partner of India in which another initiative जिसमें US भी है हमारे साथ में. US, Japan, Australia, and India. What is the name of this initiative? Okay, Ansh has given the answer to my question of 2 plus 2. Good job. Quant going strong, I see. Yes, the Quad initiative. So Japan is also a partner with us in the Quad initiative. The two sides hold discussion on defense cooperation, significance of open Indo-Pacific cooperation, and Rajnath says partnership is based on democratic values. So Japan has been a decent ally for India, and India should maintain good diplomatic relationships with Japan so as to firstly counter China, trade with China, and all of that. We can take a lot of tech support from Japan. We can take a lot of, you could say, investment from Japan. Japan invests heavily in your South Asian and Southeast Asian countries. It would also help to have some good allies which are stable in nature to counter the growing influence of China, which again is very close to Japan, very close to Korea. ठीक है, तो इसी वजह से this Japan India Japan 2+2 dialogue is important. Okay, there is not much to study about it. It's just a formal meeting sort of a thing, dialogue. There's no specific statement given with regards to any particular MOU or agreement. If there is, I'll let you know. But yeah, बस यही factual news थी कि they conducted 2+2 dialogue to focus on India Pacific. ठीक है, न्यूज़पेपर में भी दिखा देता हूँ मैं आपको ये न्यूज़. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here. The India-Japan partnership is set against a larger context of free, open, and rule-based Indo-Pacific, and it will continue to grow. External Affairs Minister said. 2+2 dialogue. Japanese delegation in talks in Delhi, headed by Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa, Defense Minister Minoru Kihara. Mr. Jaishankar and Mr. Rajnath Singh headed the Indian team, of course. In the last decade, our relationship has assumed the form of special strategic and global partnership. Logic of this evolution is expanding interest, growing activities. Both step forward towards more volatile and unpredictable world. There is need for reliable partners with whom there are substantial convergences, yani meeting points. We have consciously sought to facilitate each other's endeavors, comprehend each other's objectives. Basically, आसान भाषा में दोस्ती बनी रहे, ऐसा कह रहे हैं, और हमें एक दूसरे की जरूरत है. India has set a goal of become a developed country by 2047, and building domestic defense capabilities is one of the significant aspects. India-Japan partnership in the defense sector will be important aspect to realize this goal. ठीक है? Okay, let's move to the next topic of the day, and also the final topic of the day, which is ethanol blending. Now, this is a very different article. What is ethanol blending? So they are suggesting that we should do ethanol blending in petrol. 20% ethanol should be blended, and ethanol petrol blend should be used for all your purposes जिसके लिए पेट्रोल अभी यूज होता है. Because it has better efficiency. It is said that if you blend 20% ethanol with petrol, the efficiency increases. Ethanol का chemical formula क्या होता है? तो मुझे बताएगा chat box में. The chemical formula of ethanol. Where are my science people? The OH group. C2H5OH. योर चम जहान आपने मेथनॉल का फॉर्मूला बता दिया. आई थिंक दैट इज CH3OH. C2H5OH इज एथेनॉल. बट अगेन ये नहीं पूछेगा. आई होप क्लैट पूछ भी सकता है, बट आई होप ना पूछे. बट अगर पूछेगा तो अब आपको पता है. तो हम बात कर रहे हैं एथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग की. अब एथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग से हमें क्या फायदा होगा? हमें काफी सारे फायदे होंगे. नॉट जस्ट एन इंक्रीज इन एफिशिएंसी. फर्स्टली इंडिया हैज सेट अ टारगेट कि हम 20% एथेनॉल ब्लेंड फ्यूल पे आ जाएंगे, लाइक 20% एथेनॉल एंड 80% पेट्रोल बाय 2025. एंड इसके लिए हमें कितना एथेनॉल का प्रोडक्शन चाहिए? वी नीड अ प्रोडक्शन ऑफ 1000 करोड़ लीटर ऑफ एथेनॉल. ठीक है, टू मीट दिस पर्टिकुलर डिमांड कि 2025 पे हम पूरी तरीके से 20% एथेनॉल वाले फ्यूल पे शिफ्ट हो जाए. अब एथेनॉल वाले फ्यूल पे शिफ्ट होके हमें फायदा क्या होगा? फर्स्ट फायदा ये होगा, सबसे पहले ये डिस्कस करते हैं कि एथेनॉल बनता कैसे है. सो द प्राइमरी सोर्स बाय विच एथेनॉल इज प्रोड्यूस्ड इज यूजिंग योर शुगर केन. ठीक है, शुगर केन जो कि आपका, जिसको आप हिंदी में कहते हो गन्ना. ठीक है, तो शुगर केन को जब आप प्रोसेस करते हो तो शुगर केन से काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें निकलती हैं, जैसे ऑफ कोर्स sugar syrup, and your sugarcane juice, which I really like, and type B molasses, type C molasses, and type C molasses जो है आपके प्रोसेस होके बनते हैं एथेनॉल. ठीक है, तो ये तो हो गया प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस. अब एथेनॉल प्रोडक्शन से हमें फायदा क्या है? फर्स्टली दिस वुड रिड्यूस our dependence on imports. Firstly, we import a lot of your petrol, a lot of crude oil. So crude oil का हमारा import कम होगा because sugarcane production तो काफ़ी है हमारे पास. We can produce a lot of ethanol, and that would at least bring down our crude oil import by 20%. अगर 20% ratio हमारा कम हो जाएगा. सेकेंडली इट वुड बेनिफिट आवर फार्मर्स, क्योंकि इफ इथेनॉल प्रोडक्शन चाहिए होगा, इफ इथेनॉल की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, then that means शुगर मिल्स की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, शुगर मिल्स की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, दैट मीन्स शुगर प्रोडक्शन की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, दैट मीन्स शुगर केन प्रोडक्शन की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, एंड दैट मीन्स फार्मर वुड be incentivized to produce sugar cane and grow sugar cane, and they would be paid well for sugar cane as well. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे कुछ challenges भी आ जाते हैं when it comes to shifting to ethanol. The challenges are that to grow extra sugar cane, you would also need more water, more arable area. If comes under sugar cane, you would need more water to grow it, you'll need better soil fertility, you'll need nutrition. ठीक है. उस तरफ अगर आप एडवांटेजेस की बात करो तो यू हैव योर एफिशिएंसी, यू हैव योर लेस पोल्यूशन, यू हैव रिडक्शन ऑफ इंपोर्ट्स. तो यही सारी बातें हैं. आर्टिकल देख लेते हैं. जिस्ट तो यही है. ठीक है, चलो मैं आर्टिकल भी दिखा देता हूं आपको. आर्टिकल काफी सारी चीजें बता रहा है, इंटरेस्टिंग आर्टिकल है, पढ़ सकते हो उसको. On the ethanol blending program, India on its way to achieve its target of blending 20% of petrol with ethanol by 2025-26. However, the food versus fuel equation continues to hang over the ethanol economy, along with questions regarding fuel efficiency in existing vehicles. ठीक है, तो एग्जिस्टिंग व्हीकल्स में क्या फ्यूल एफिशिएंसी आएगी या हमें नए इंजन प्रोड्यूस करने पड़ेंगे, दैट इज वन क्वेश्चन. फूड वर्सेस फ्यूल इज वन क्वेश्चन कि भाई अगर शुगर केन पे ही हम इतना सारा एम्फेसिस करेंगे तो फूड का जो है थ्रेट हो सकता है. That is one thing. तो जस्ट पढ़ लेते हैं, पूरा आर्टिकल नहीं पढ़ेंगे. The roadmap for achieving ethanol blending targets prepared by Niti Aayog have laid down that the capacity of sugarcane-based distilleries would need to increase from this liter to this liter. यानी कि बढ़ानी पड़ेगी capacity. Ethanol will not only reduce greenhouse gas emission, it will also prevent an estimated foreign exchange outgo of some $4 billion per year as per Maruti Suzuki, and bolster rural economy by promoting the cultivation of various crops through an assured market. Meanwhile, developing ethanol economy has impacted states differently. Fuel ethanol pricing is same across India. States determine the pricing of extra neutral alcohol, which is ENA, that goes into making liquor for consumption and other users. ठीक है, तो इथेनॉल से और भी चीजें बनती हैं, सिर्फ गाड़ी नहीं चलती, दारू भी बनती है. ठीक है, चलो तो यही सब है आर्टिकल में. बाकी नंबर्स ही दिए हुए हैं, नंबर्स आपको याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. यू नीड टू नो द कंसेप्ट बिहाइंड दैट आर्टिकल, which I have already explained it to you. Someone was saying in the start of the session that lateral entry भी समझा दो, तो lateral entry की मैं बात कर लेता हूँ थोड़ी सी. तो देखो फ्रंट पेज ये न्यूज़ है. आफ्टर बैकलैश यूनियन गवर्नमेंट कैंसल्स lateral recruitment. Now what is lateral recruitment? देखो, for top bureaucratic positions, we all know that recruitment happens through an exam called what? Which exam? जिसमें लाखों एस्पिरेंट्स अपीयर होते हैं, जो हर माँ बाप का सपना होता है कि उनका बेटा बन जाए या बेटी बन जाए. किस एग्जाम की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ? हिस्ट्री क्लास नहीं हो रही है. यस, यूपीएससी, यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, जो कराता है एग्जाम, यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जाम. तो उसके थ्रू आप बनते हो ऑन गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर, एंड देन यू गो ऑन टू हायर पोजीशंस, एंड देन यू जॉइन द ब्यूरोक्रेसी, देन यू climb up the ladder, and then you join the secretary position, secretary, joint secretary, deputy secretary, chief secretary. ये सारे positions होते हैं bureaucratic positions, involved in policy making, involved in governance, involved in diplomacy. तो ये जो आपके सारे ministers होते हैं, they are not the ones who frame your policies or design your policies. That is done by these IAS officers or officers of different cadres, be it your IRS, IPS, all of that. तो ये लोग पॉलिसी फ्रेमिंग एंड ब्यूरोक्रेसी ये सब करते हैं, एंड मिनिस्टर्स उसको अप्रूव करते हैं या उस पर बहस करते हैं इन द पार्लियामेंट. नाउ द फाइट हियर इज what is lateral recruitment? Lateral recruitment is recruitment to these positions, these secretary positions. Specifically अगर इस issue की बात करूँ मैं, तो joint secretary positions की बात हो रही है. There were 45 vacancies released for the position of joint secretary in different departments, and they were trying to recruit people who were experts in their particular field. For example, if someone is an expert in finance for 15-20 years, someone is an expert in, let's say, technology in 15-20 years, experience की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. So they directly get an opportunity to appear for an interview and then get a lateral entry to these positions. Lateral appointment, lateral recruitment to the position of joint secretary. लेकिन अगर आपको यूपीएससी के थ्रू जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी बनना है तो दैट्स अ लॉन्ग रोड. First you join as an officer and then through promotions after 20 odd years you become a joint secretary. ठीक है, तो पीपल आर अपोजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर इनिशिएटिव ऑफ गिविंग लेटरल एंट्री. इसको आप एक तरीके से वाइल्ड कार्ड एंट्री कह सकते हो, बैकडोर एंट्री कह सकते हो. बेसिकली विदाउट गिविंग द यूपीएससी एग्जाम यू आर बिकमिंग अ जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी विच इज अ वेरी रेप्यूटेड पोजीशन, वेरी सॉट आफ्टर पोजीशन. सो इस वजह से इस पे इतना ज्यादा ह्यू एंड क्राई हो रहा है. द प्राइमरी रीजन इज multiple reasons. First reason which the opposition is giving is there is no provision of reservation when you talk of lateral recruitment. So इसमें ऐसा classification नहीं है कि general के लिए 10 seats and SC category के लिए 5 seats, ST category के लिए 5 seats, OBC के लिए 5 seats, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Lateral recruitment directly happens just on the basis of your qualifications and your interview, right? So firstly, this reservation benefit is not being given. That is why opposition is opposing it. Second is people are saying that this would dilute the credibility, or let's say it's bypassing the process of UPSC. कि भाई हम इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं, 2-2 साल पढ़ रहे हैं, लाखों रुपए कोचिंग में दे रहे हैं, आईएएस ऑफिसर बन रहे हैं, फिर 20 साल काम कर रहे हैं, तब हमें मौका मिल रहा है जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी बनने का, एंड आप ऐसे ही किसी को भी बना दोगे जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी जस्ट इंटरव्यू लेके. तो ये तो बात फेयर नहीं है. सो दिस इज सर्विंग एज अ बैकडोर टू यूपीएससी एंड questioning the legitimacy or the authority of UPSC, and that is the second reason. बाकी यही है प्राइमरी रीजन. बाकी तो सबके फिर इंडिविजुअल एजेंडाज हैं, इंडिविजुअल ड्रिवन मोटिव्स हैं फॉर अपोजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग. सो यही था आपका लेटरल एंट्री. इसी वजह से बैकक्लैश आ रहा है उस पर, एंड अब गवर्नमेंट ने वापस ले लिया. दूसरा एक और फैक्टर जो आपको पता होना चाहिए, यार मैंने स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं करी थी, आप लोग बता ही नहीं रहे मुझे. सैड. पूरा मैंने समझा दिया आपको, आपने बताया ही नहीं, स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं है. चलो कोई बात नहीं, फिर से बता देता हूँ मैं जल्दी से एक बार. तो ये फर्स्ट रीजन इज रिजर्वेशन नहीं है, सेकंड रीजन इज डाइल्यूशन ऑफ यूपीएससी, एंड द थर्ड रीजन विच इज क्लेम्ड इज फेवरेटिज्म. ठीक है, तो आप क्योंकि यूपीएससी ये प्रोसेस नहीं कंडक्ट करवा रहा है एंड देयर इज जस्ट द डायरेक्ट इंटरव्यू, there can be questions of people favoring certain candidates and that can result in a bias. तो उस वजह से ये 3 रीजन है जिस वजह से lateral entry or the direct entry to the post of joint secretary is being opposed and is receiving a lot of backlash, and it is now taken back. Clear? I hope that clears it up. Maybe reservation not there for marginalized communities. Yes, I mentioned that. Ansh is saying, can you explain nil quota? The title in my paper is different. हो सकता है एडिशन का फर्क होगा. After backlash over nil quota. Nil quota means zero quota. Exactly. वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना. There is no reservation. कोटा नहीं है कोई किसी के लिए. No quota for SC categories, ST categories, OBC categories. So nil quota. Nil quota simply means zero quota. Zero reservation. That is the primary reason for the backlash. मैंने आपको समझा ही दिया पूरा. ठीक है, आई होप दैट इज क्लियर. जल्दी से वोकैबुलरी कर लेते हैं आज की. कहाँ गई हमारी ये रही. सो द फर्स्ट वोकैबुलरी वर्ड फॉर द डे इज ब्लैदर. ब्लैदर मतलब सिंपली बकवास करना, टॉक लॉन्ग विंडेडली विदाउट मेकिंग वेरी मच सेंस. ठीक है, सिनोनिम्स आर प्राटल, बैबल, चैटर. एंटोनिम्स आर काम, पीस, क्वाइट. ठीक है, शांति से बैठना. He'll just blather about the subject for hours once he gets started. Okay, so talking nonsense without making much sense is blather, babble, prattle, chatter. इस टाइप के सारे वर्ड्स का मतलब ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही होता है. The next word is ruse. Ruse मतलब होता है an action. ये क्या हुआ? Oops. So ruse मतलब होता है an action intended to deceive someone or a trick, a ploy, stratagem, a tactic. It is now clear that this was a ruse to divide them. Okay, तो चालबाजी, शातिर, षड्यंत्र, वो सबको कह सकते हो आप ruse. Okay. The next word is rue. S हटा दो तो rue. Bitterly regret something one has done or allowed to happen. That is called rue. Regret, be sorry about, feel remorse for. Antonyms are impenitence, remorselessness. I rue the day I agreed to this stupid plan. Tell me in the comment box something which you all rue. ठीक है, कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग सा मुझे सेंटेंस बना के दो चैट बॉक्स में. रू से भी बना सकते हो, रूस से भी बना सकते हो, blather से भी बना सकते हो. I'm waiting for your sentences in the comment section and then we'll end today's class. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And if not, make sure you like this video, you share this video, you subscribe to the channel. You guys know the drill. ठीक है, चलो, time for sentences. Let's unleash some creativity. If you have any questions, you can ask. इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई? सो गए क्या आप लोग? I often rue that I took PCM after class 10. High five. Us bro, us. Us moment हो गया. Me too. But ठीक है. In hindsight, in retrospect, it worked out well for me. I rue the day I have to go give mocks in the rain. Okay. Interesting. चलो ठीक है. That's all for today's class. You all can put in sentences in the comment section. Also, a reminder that we have our Menti-quiz on Friday on appointments, awards, and one more thing which I mentioned. So prepare for Menti-quiz for Friday, and I'll see you all again today itself, because today is no mock analysis. Mock analysis is not happening today at 8 p.m. So I'll be taking your class for English. So we'll be solving some RC passages. So see you all again at 8 p.m. Same time, not same time, same place, same channel, but at 8 p.m. Okay. Yes, important days. Correct. Chalo. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Keep learning. Keep preparing. Signing off.